number 24, Jamie Lee. For the Lady Indians, number 24, Jenny Etzler. For the Crimson and Gold, number 10, Jenny Patterson. For the Purple and White, number 31, Dinah Weigel. For the Crimson and Gold, number 42, Amy Kaup. For the Lady Indians, number 41, Brenda Toby. For the Falcons, number 40, Mary Ellen Law. For Fort Recovery, number 45, Vicki Smith. And for Bishop Fenwick, number 22, Paula Keeper. Introducing the starting lineups. At forward, a 5'10 senior, number 32, Kathy Lennertz. For Bishop Fenwick, number 32, a 5'6 junior, Daenerys Nora. At forward for the Lady Indians, a 5'11 senior, number 30, Tina Bin. For Bishop Fenwick, starting at forward, a 5'7 senior, number 12, Beth Hill. Playing center for the Lady Indians, a 6'1 junior, number 44, Lynn Bin. And at center for the Falcons, a 5'9 senior, number 34, Kathy Long. For the Purple and White, at guard, a 5'7 senior, number 53, Tammy Hartnagel. For the Crimson and Gold at guard, a 5'4 senior, number 30, Jerry Lee. For the Lady Indians at guard, number 20, a 5'9 senior, Jenna Jenkins. And at guard for Bishop Fenwick, number 14, a 5'4 senior, Bobby Lee.
The only undefeated team in the entire state tournament, Middletown Fenwick, 24-2 for the Division IV championship. We'll be back for the opening tip right after this. Kathy Long to jump it up for Middletown. For Fort Recovery, Lynn Bin. There you can see the matchups. Long at 5'9", and Lynn Bin at 6'1", so there'll be a little bit of a mismatch in the middle, down low. But Bin's sisters form a defensive wall underneath, too. And we were both impressed with how well they worked in tandem.
They definitely work together. It's a family affair with the Lee sisters, Long sisters, and also the Bin sisters.
And the Indians won the tip, and the ball tied up at the offensive end. And so credit the Falcons with the steal, and the Falcons of Middletown Fenwick have their hands on the ball for the first time. Backcourt pressure by Fort Recovery. Backcourt tandem. Those are twin young ladies back there. Bobby Lee and Jerry Lee, 14 and 30 respectively, are twins. And that's Jerry Lee with the ball right now, working over the zone of Fort Recovery. Just underway, the Division IV Girls High School Basketball Champion. The last of a great day here at St. John Arena. Lee up and down. Now she was tied up. And in fact, a turnover.
There you see Middletown having a little problem with that 2-3 zone. Like I said before, that size discrepancy. It's like towers in there for them, and they're having a hard time even penetrating the gaps.
Well, you had a quick look at Coach Mike Lockhart of Middletown Fenwick. Daenerys Nora with the steal underneath, and she's going to bring it down. Nora averaging almost 11 a game. A legitimate outside threat, and they're going to need outside shooting to loosen up that zone a bit. With the ball, Beth Hill. Beth Hill, a senior. Bobby Lee, a senior. That is the shot in the corner. There's Nora. We told you about how well she can shoot it. And she has the first 2 points of the night for Middletown, Fenwick.
That's exactly what they'll have to do. Shoot it from the outside and put it in and force the defense to come out.
And Kenny Hartnagel ties the game on the other end. Hartnagel averaging 11 points a game. Had 16 points in the semifinal game against Berlin Highland. There, Norai on the other end trying to bounce it along the baseline. Ball loose and picked up by Bobby Lee. There's Jerry Lee with it, watched by Hartnagel. Now Norai had time to shoot, but thought better of it. In the other corner now for Beth Hill. And they reversed the ball very well, but haven't yet gotten a shot out of it. Ford Recovery, good swarming defense. And that ball was tied up. Very quick whistle, but again, the officials' rationale there is trying to prevent any kind of rough play.
They've done a very good job throughout the tournament in calling the jump ball as soon as they see 4 hands on the ball. As soon as it's tied up, they automatically blow the whistle to stop the rough play, as you mentioned.
I was talking earlier to Hank Zaborniak, the OSHAA's coordinator of officials, and he was telling me that it varies from crew to crew how quickly they make that call. 2-point shot by Beth Hill, no good, off the mark, and a foul on the rebound against the Middletown Fenwick Falcons. And that's going to be the first foul of the ball game on Fenwick. And it's going to be against Nair Norai. There's a good look at Coach Diane McClung in her 11th year at Ford Recovery. 184 victories, 65 defeats. She is a Ball State grad, and she must be very happy right now with how well her Ball State Cardinals are doing in the NCAA. Ball State in the Sweet 16. 5:20 to go, first quarter. 2-2 the score, and a 3-second violation. Well, it may have been Kathy Long who camped out in the lane, or rather Lynn Ben who camped out in the lane just a bit too long. Good look again at Coach Mike Lockhart, a very intense individual. He's a Pentecostal minister, teaching, or coaching rather, at a Catholic school. The Indians stay in the zone defense. Very nearly took away, now finally stolen. Jenia Jenkins, the senior, down with it, but got too far underneath. She's going to be double teamed, and there's the steal by Long. And she stayed too long in the lane, so the turnover. At any rate, we'll get it back to the Falcons. So take your choice of turnovers there. It was a 3-second violation.
Well, that was great defense by Jania Jenkins. Getting down the court, getting hand on the loose ball. Unfortunately, just parked the foot in there a little bit too long.
Backcourt pressure by the Indians. But Norai gets it ahead for Jerry Lee. Look at the Indians getting down court quickly to set up on defense. On the other side of the court is Norai. Being watched there by Lynn Ben, the co-player of the year in AP Division 4. Chosen by Associated Press, broadcasters, and waiters.
There you see recovery. They are actually recovering in that zone. They are on the ball.
There's Norai, just missed there. And the rebound down to Tammy Hartnagel. It's a 2-on-2 break. And Hartnagel's going to pull up and shoot it off the glass. And it's 4-2 recovery.
Nice stop and pop by Tammy. She got her hand on the ball. There she goes, looking deep again.
Ford Recovery with its first lead of the night. The pass ahead to Norai. And Norai lays it in. Nice speed from Jerry Lee.
That's a nice look by Jerry Lee, and a good way to fill the lane. I have to give my hats off to Middletown. Way to get down there.
Under 4 minutes to play. All the way to the shot. Lennox was fouled. Andy Lennox will go to the line. 5'10" senior. Had 12 in the semi against Berlin Highland.
Foul is on Jerry Lee.
You see that foul there. Nice offensive effort, taking it up, initiating the contact, going to the line.
Bobby Lee checks in. Also, they have a substitution at the top, but we'll pick that up here in just a moment. Paula Kiefer is the name that I was trying to come up with. She's wearing number 22. Her back to you. Paula Kiefer, a junior. Had a very strong defensive game off the bench in the semifinal.
On the free throw line. And there they are into that tenacious full court defense.
Recovery back to a 2-point lead. And all the way, Bobby Lee. And Bobby Lee fouled along the baseline. common foul. No shots on that one. Let's watch that foul again.
Looked like Bobby Lee decided to pass back, and just unfortunately the momentum of the recovery team just knocked her over.
Jenna Jenkins picked up the foul for Fort Recovery. And there's a steal by Hartnagel. Again, they're doing a good job of getting into the passing lanes as they did in the semi. There's Kathy Leonard from the side. Nothing but net for Kathy Leonard. She's averaging 14 a game.
That's a nice shot. Good leadership by the senior there. They're going to have to look for that more often tonight.
And there you see Beth Hill getting herself hemmed in the corner. Ball knocked off of her fingertips, but it will still belong to the Middletown Fenwick Falcons. And there's a throwaway. It's going to be picked up by Lynn Benn. Very nearly thrown away in turn, but Hartnagel picks it up and shoots it over everything. There's Kathy Long starting the other way. Kathy Long, All-Stater, wearing number 34. Picked up by another All-Stater, Lynn Benn. There's Kiefer. Very quickly on Norai. That's the other Benn sister, Tina Benn, on Norai. Beth Hill on the other side of the lane and is fouled near the baseline. And judging by the reaction of Lynn Benn, must be on her. If so, it'll be her first, and it is on Lynn Benn. So a couple of team fouls now for both teams. Diane McClung up shouting instructions to her troops. In for Kathy Long. Long tied up in the lane. And the loose ball picked up by Tina Benn.
There we go again with that aggressiveness that we mentioned earlier today. Both teams around the ball, and we got Middletown. Very scrappy play. Good quickness on behalf of Middletown.
There's a turnaround by Benn. Got it. She was fouled.
That's a big-time play by the junior, Lynn Benn. That's why she's one of the top players in Ohio right now.
As we sat here the other night and watched the semifinal game, you said that over and over again. Big-time play.
Big-time player, and I definitely mean that. When she has another year ahead of her, as you see there, good emotion by her. She leads this team extremely well, being a junior, and I think the next year can only get better for her. And right in enough time for her to get ready and prepare for college. She's going to be a very good college collegiate player.
A little spin move down to an arc form right now. She rarely misses when she gets in that close. 11-4 recovery, leading Middletown Fenwick, and it's tapped away from behind, but a foul against Tammy Hartnagel. And that'll be team foul number 4 on Fort Recovery. So one more, and Fenwick will be in the bonus. 2:25 to go, first quarter. Fenwick trailing by 7 with the basketball. Division IV championship game for another fine house here at St. John Arena. In the middle for Long. There's her spin move, but she's fouled as she goes up by Jerry Lee. By Tina Benn.
That's a nice pass inside by Paula Kiefer. Good look inside. Nice turnaround, and in result, she's at the free throw line. And again, it's very important that both teams hit the shot from the free throw line when the clock is stopped. That has been a very crucial decision maker throughout this tournament for a lot of teams.
So Kathy Long at the line looking for her first points of the night. An old free throw bugaboo coming through to haunt again. It just seems like none of the teams in the tournament have shot it very well from the free throw line.
You got that right. A lot of them have not been shooting well. I don't know if it has to do with the depth perception or the distractions that they see on the glass court. You see a lot of hands waving back there, and being here in St. John Arena, it is a very large gym. It's 10 feet longer, and it may be a little depth perception there.
Leonard's dribbled the ball out of bounds, so it goes back to Middletown Fenwick. And the Falcons with a chance to cut into that Fort Recovery lead, which is 11-4 at this point.
Recovery continues to have that tenacious full-court defense. They're not going to let up, and then they drop back into that 2-3 zone that Middletown is having a hard time trying to thread the needle.
Well, it was Middletown that came into the game known for its defense, but really they've been outdone so far by Fort Recovery. There's Denier Nora, hemmed in the corner, has to kick it back outside for Kiefer. And there's a steal by Benn. Lynn Benn ahead for Hartnagel, but a little bit too far. Hartnagel couldn't handle the pass, and Paula Kiefer, the junior, will come back the other way.
Nice alert play. Kiefer stayed back and stop that fast break for recovery.
Beth Hill up with one. And Ben the rebound. You're not hearing an echo, by the way. There are two Ben sitters in court recovery, and there's one of them. Going down, Tina Ben, or Lynn Ben, rather. Pass a little bit too far ahead of her. Turnovers tonight, that is 7 for Fenwick. Court recovery with 8. So neither team doing a terribly good job of taking care of the ball in the first quarter. And there's an example right there.
Exactly. That defense is a bug for Middletown. They seem to have problems with that full court press.
Minute 20 to go, first quarter. Court recovery, the 11-4 lead. There's Ben in the middle of the turnaround. Just missed, gets her own rebound, and then dribbled it off her foot. And has to kick it back outside. Jenkins, two-pointer. Jenna Jenkins, the senior, averaging 9 a game. 13-4, a 9-point lead now for court recovery. And under a minute to play, first quarter. Indians stay in that zone defense. There, Nora is going to put it up. Off the side of the rim and over the back of the backboard. In one of those backboard supports, and that means it's out of bounds, and back it goes to court recovery. And the Indians with a substitution, a senior, Vicki Smith, is going to come into the game. And she's wearing, as you can see, number 45, and that'll give Lynn Ben a brief rest. Lynn probably won't stay out there very long. Put the co-AP player of the year on the bench for too long. And the foul out top, away from the basket, but on the ball.
No, I don't think they're going to keep Lynn on the bench too long. I think with 30 seconds, this is a good time for her to get a breather and get back in there in the second quarter and start where she left off.
Paula Kiefer picked up the foul for Middletown Fenwick. Still Fort Recovery basketball. Fort Recovery, the 9-point lead. It's largest of the night. Down to the 32nd mark now in the first quarter. Leonards off the back of the rim, but there's the rebound by Vicki Smith back up. But the stick back wouldn't work for her. And now Fenwick with a chance to put some points on the board in the last 15 seconds of the first quarter. Almost lost, though. Lost for sure. Is coming the other way, Jenna Jenkins. With 10 seconds to go. Jenna Jenkins all alone and shoots it over everything. And with 4 seconds left, the ball goes out of bounds, so the Falcons will have one chance for a quick trip down the floor.
That's nice penetration by Jenkins. She just bounced it too hard off the backboard. That was a nice steal and a nice penetration for her.
2 seconds to go. Nora, though, cannot handle the pass. So, that is the end of the first quarter. We'll pause for this break in the action. We'll return to St. John Arena. The first quarter score, Recovery 13, Middletown Fenwick. Welcome back to St. John Arena. Second quarter for State High School Championship basketball game. Good look at Coach Diane McClung of Fort Recovery. Hers the only undefeated team in the state tournament, 26-0, number 1 in the final AP poll. In her 11th year. So, second quarter now. As Fort Recovery tries to work it inside, and traveling with the basketball, Tina Ben. So the turnover gives it back to Middletown Fenwick. The Fenwick Falcons, Coach Mike Lockhart admits they're not very good at scoring. They could afford, but nobody told out to Kathy Long.
There was that Middletown fast break. I told you the tempo is going to be a big difference, and I see Middletown came out and they're playing man-to-man defense right now, so I guess they're going to play fundamental, box out, and get that break going.
And the door opens another crack now for the Middletown Fenwick Falcons as Fort Recovery turns it over again. But Mike Lockhart of Fenwick is very frank when he says we just are not very good at scoring, but they more than have made up for it in defense. And Kathy Long just kicked it away. It was tipped away from her, and Fort Recovery is going to come the other way. Here comes Kathy Lenhartz. Lenhartz has got Ben, and stepping in on Lenhartz was Paula Kiefer, fouling out at the top of the key. And that should put the Fort Recovery Indians in the bonus.
There you see that nice crossover. Unfortunately, Kiefer just got a little hand in there and commit the foul.
It will put him in the bonus, and that'll mean Kathy Lenhartz will shoot 1 and 1. Checking back in, Jerry Lee for Middletown. And checking out is Paula Kiefer. Again, Kiefer, very strong spark defensively for Middletown when she's in the game. But Right now, the Fenwick Falcons need an offensive spark. There's Lenhart's at the line, making it 14-6. Fort Recovery, which is leading now, is led by as much as 9. Lenhart's with 5 points in the night. And it remains as 5. At 5, the loose ball. There is a big scrap for it. And you saw Jerry Lee end up on her knees, but she also picked up the foul, so that's going to put Recovery right back at the free throw line.
That was a good second effort on Jania Jenkins. Nice follow-up for her to get the ball and initiate the contact, and now she's at the free throw line. Try to bounce back with 2 points here.
And Jenna Jenkins has 2 points in the night. She is a senior, 5'9". And misses that free throw, but look at the position by Kathy Lenhartz to come away with a rebound.
I tell you, recovery is everywhere, and that's what you need. Second and third shots at the bucket.
And it comes to Ben, but pushed from behind by Kathy Long. That's going to be number 2 on Kathy Long. And it's a bit early in the game for Kathy Long to want to pick up that second personal foul. 7:09 to go.
Look at that nice post job by Lynn Ben. She keeps her players on her back. She spreads herself very well. Nicely balanced, turn around with a good touch.
So now Jenna Jenkins is going to come out. Jenny Etzler comes in for Fort Recovery. And Lynn Ben, the All-Stater, the AP Co-Player of the Year in Division 4 at the line. She has 3 points on the night. Had 23 points, 9 rebounds against Highland in the semifinal, but missed that one. Down to the 7-minute mark in the first half. There you look at that play developing from the end. Great shot.
We see a bit of an adjustment by Recovery. They're not in that full court pressure anymore. They just go back and set up into their zone. I guess they see that Middletown is not having that much of a problem with their full court pressure.
And you see Mary Ellen Long in the game. She is a junior, the sister of Kathy Long. Lots of sisters on the court tonight. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later. There's one of them right there, Jerry Lee, whose twin sister is Bobby Lee. And in the corner, Beth Hill, who does not have a sister on the team. One of the few. Long dribbling along the baseline. Nice drop pass for Beth Hill, but it wouldn't go for her. Back up by Long. And with it is Mary Ellen Long. So Kathy Long with the shot. Mary Ellen Long with the rebound, and Mary Ellen goes to the line.
That's a nice second and third effort by Middletown. As you see, the shot goes up, a good position. Head fake and go up, feel that contact, and fouled on the play. Good rebounding position for Middletown. For them to be so small, they have to make up for that and play very big and get into a good position.
Rebounding is about 10% skill and about 90% desire, right?
You got that right. It's a very fundamental drill, but a lot of people like to go for the ball and disregard the player. But if everyone boxed out, you'll see how easy it is to get the ball.
Tina Ben picked up her second personal. There's Mary Ellen Long at the line. 5'7" junior. Well, Mary Ellen Long and Kathy Long are sisters. Jamie Lee, Jerry Lee, Bobby Lee are sisters. Again, Jerry and Bobby are twins. And on the Fort Recovery Indian team, Tina Ben and Lynn Ben are sisters.
It is a family affair tonight with all the sisters.
We finally got all the sisters in there. I would imagine a few of the sisters are here watching tonight the Bishop Fenwick Falcons play.
Well, there are a bunch of them. I wonder if they have any little bitty sisters that are going to be here soon.
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. There's a rebound by Denair Norai. So Middletown's hanging in there, still trailing, though, by 8 points. Denair Norai being watched out top by Jenny Etzler. Now Mary Ellen Long. And they're going to reverse the ball, but overthrown and right to our broadcast position. And out of bounds, and it'll go back to Fort Recovery. As we mentioned, the Longs are sisters. There's another Long sister coming up next year as a freshman.
Oh, I'm sure her older sisters are going to give her a lot of advice on how to get here.
And to Tina Ben, but stolen away by Long, and Ben reached in on Long. And that's going to be number 2 on Lynn Ben.
That was nice, quick defense by Mary Ellen Long. As you see right there, Lynn put the ball down, and there she goes. Tall people can't bring that ball down when the guards are so quick. They're waiting for you to bring that ball down by the waist. That was great heads-up play by Mary Ellen Long. And out of frustration, Lynn Ben reached in and committed the foul.
And that frustration foul was number 2. So that was a very important play for a couple of reasons, because that may get, again, Lynn Ben out of the game for a while.
That's right. I don't think her coach is going to allow her to stay in much longer, as you see. Well, I thought she was going out, but I guess not. We can't afford to get Lynn Ben in foul trouble here. She picked up a third one. I'm sure she'll definitely be sitting.
5:49 to go in the first half. There you can see the concentration. All net. That concentration paid off. Makes the first one, gets one more. First points for either team in quite some time. It was 13-4 at the end of the first quarter, and about 3 minutes in now, a little bit more than 2 minutes in, as Lynn Ben does check out.
McClung, she realizes how important Lynn Ben is, although I think Lynn Ben is smart enough and very good enough not to get that third foul, but we can't take any chances here.
To complete the earlier thought, Fort Recovery has scored but a point in this second quarter. Fenwick has scored just 3, so Fenwick appears to be on the way back. There's Hartnagel on the drive. Hartnagel with the runner, wouldn't go for her, though. And there's position again. Mary Ellen Long has been a potent rebounder since she's come into the game.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Middletown. They're in that matchup zone, and they're everywhere. They're very small. They just maintain position, and they get the ball and go with it.
Well, these Middletown Fenwick Falcons are scrappers. They're not afraid of anybody.
No, they're not.
Again, they've held their opponents to 23% field goal shooting. There's Kathy Long on the drive. Bit too hard, but Long gets it again, puts it back up and in. However, I don't think the shot's going to count because the foul occurred before the shot. And Kathy Long will go to the line.
Kathy Long seems frustrated of missing that shot. She's a very good senior. You saw that head fake, and she took that one dribble and went in. That was a nice head-up move by her.
Tammy Hartnagel picks up her first personal. And that does put Kathy Long at the line with her 14-point average. Just 2 tonight, though. There you see she had a fine game on the boards in the semifinal against Buckeye Central. That was won by Middletown 30-23. Believe it or not, the halftime score in that game was 11-11.
At that shooter's roll, nice touch by Kathy Long at the free throw line.
And she's brought her team back to within 5 points now of Fort Recovery. Recovery is led by as much as 9, but the score right now, as you see on the screen, 14-9. There's the turnaround, and the score by Jenna Jenkins. There's a good touch by a senior.
Definitely. She kissed the glass. Nice, beautiful touch.
Runs that lead back up to 8 points. Kathy Long has to pull up as she sees 5 purple-shirted defenders get back on her. There's Long again. And the call is going to be against Jenna Jenkins, who didn't quite give Long time enough to come down to the floor.
I tell you, although Kathy Long stands 5'9", she's playing like she's 6 foot. As you see her get the ball there, dribbles around and initiate the contact, and she's going to the line again. She's playing a very smart game. She feels that contact, and she takes it all the way. Either she's going to make it or go to the free throw line.
That lady, Jenna Jenkins, has picked up her second personal foul, and that puts Kathy Long at the line to shoot 1 and 1. Then again, bring her team back to within 5 with a couple of made free throws here. Gets the first one. 5 points for Kathy.
Go straight in now.
Kathy Long and Mary Ellen Long from a family of 14 children. Missed that one. And right after the loose ball, Kathy Lennertz. 4 minutes and 28 seconds to go, first half. Lennertz is going to take it all the way up the floor and take the shot. And the foul is going to put Lennertz at the line. Jerry Lee picks up her first. So far in the game, Fort Recovery hitting 57% from the line. Middletown at 44. As the girls have been shooting it, not in just Division 4, but throughout the tournament, that's not bad, 57%.
You got that right. It's not a high percentage, but if you want to compare this game with the tournament, they're doing extremely well. I don't know what it is about this gym, but throughout the tournament, neither team has been shooting good free throw percentage.
7-point for Kathy Leonard. And again, the lead is 7 points for Recovery, 17-10. And there's a knockaway and a steal by Leonard. And it's knocked away in turn by Bobby Lee out of bounds and wins. It'll still belong to Fort Recovery.
Recovery is switching up their defense right now. Sometimes they're going to press and sometimes they're not. I think they're trying to surprise Middletown and forcing them into turnovers.
It'll still belong to Fort Recovery. The Indians came into the game again at 26-0. The only undefeated team in the girls' high school basketball tournament. So the inbounds pass comes to Leonard, averaging 14 points, and there's a double dribble call, and it'll be turned back over to the Middletown Fenwick Falcons.
Nice pressure by the senior for Middletown, one of the Lee sisters.
12 turnovers for Fort Recovery, 13 for Fenwick. So those first half jitters, perhaps they're going to settle down a bit in the second half. But they haven't been taking very good care of the basketball thus far. And there's a pass a little bit too high for Kathy Long. And even Daenerys Norai forgets that Kathy Long is only 5'9". That is the 14th turnover of the night for Fenwick.
They haven't really Middletown hasn't gotten in sync with their fast break yet.
And somebody was clearing out underneath. And it looks like that call is going to be against Tammy Hartnagel. It will be against Hartnagel, and that'll be number 2 on Hartnagel.
Fouls on Tammy Hartnagel.
A little push from behind to get herself clear.
A lot of contact there. Who says basketball isn't a contact sport? You feel those bruises a couple days later.
Well, that is number 3 on Hartnagel. I thought it was number 2, but I didn't get my marks down quickly enough. That is number 3, so Tammy Hartnagel is going to sit down for a while. So 3 on Hartnagel, 2 on Lynn Ben, 2 on Tina Ben, 2 on Jenna Jenkins. Ariel Long at the line. And misses the free throw. The rebound, Tina Ben. Leonards ran into Bobby Lee, then had to go back for the basketball. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half. Man-to-man defense for the Falcons. That is all they play. Leonard's on the drive along the baseline is fouled as she goes up for the shot. But Mike Lockhart, the coach, in his first season at Middletown Fenwick, wrote his own 20-page manual on man-to-man defense.
Here we have Jania Jenkins taking the baseline, initiating that contact once again. Both teams are doing a good job.
And that puts Jenna Jenkins at the line. But to continue about Lockhart, he handed them that 20-page manual on man-to-man defense at the beginning of the season. Says, here, learn this, study it. If you think you can play it, you're welcome to come out for the team. There's confidence and there's intensity. I'll tell you, I've been in a room with Bobby Knight and Gene Cady and people like that, and that man over there is just as intense as either of those.
I know you can feel their very presence just as they appear. You can just feel it. I've seen Bobby Knight. I've even talked with him, and just watching him walk into a room, you feel the tension.
Daenerys Norai down off the glass. No, but the rebound Long hit the bottom of the rim, and Long is fouled. On the other end, the basket was by Vicki Smith for Fort Recovery. And that's going to be number 3 on Tina Ben. Let's watch here.
Ball rolls off, good rebound. We got both teams in the 1-and-1. They're going to the free throw line, but neither team is effectively knocking those points down with the clock stop. We got Tina Ben there with 3 fouls. And her sister, Lynn Ben, is sitting down with 2 fouls.
Well, Fort Recovery continues to open the door just a crack for Fenwick. But Fenwick has yet to step through because Fort Recovery still leads by 9. There's Mary Ellen Long at the line. She gets 2 because it was a shooting foul. There you see the stats on Mary Ellen Long. Got the second one. First one was just a rangefinder. 19-11 now, Recovery. Leading Fenwick and Recovery, Fort Recovery with the basketball. And there's a traveling call against Fort Recovery. Gives it right back to Fenwick.
And I think Kathy Lenore's just got a little bit ahead of herself. She's getting ready to change pace. I think she's going to make a very effective move, but the ball just bounced a little too high for her.
14 turnovers for both teams tonight. And we haven't yet played a half of basketball. There's Mary Ellen Long, trouble with the dribble. Back out to Norai from the top of the key. That's a two-point bucket for Norai.
Rock bottom, just inside the three-point range. Nice shot by Middletown.
And that brings Middletown back to within 6. There's Jenny Etzler with a bit of trouble handling the basketball.
Good.
And there's a steal. Bobby Lee coming the other way. It's a 2-on-1 break, but Lee's going to take it all the way. The shot is good.
Oh, what a nice heads-up play. Got her hand in the passing lane. Off to the races. Left-hand lay-in.
Fenwick's on a run. Recovery's going to call timeout. With 2:25 to go in the half, it is Recovery 19, Fenwick 15. We'll return for more from the OSHAA Championships after this timeout. Our score, 19-15, Fort Recovery. This telecast is presented by the authority of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and Sports Channel Ohio. It is intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or any other use of this telecast without the prior written consent of Sports Channel Ohio is strictly prohibited. Well, Fort Recovery had a 9-point lead, but it is now a 4-point lead. Fort Recovery with the basketball. And then it comes for Lennox, and Lennox is going to use the glass, and Lennox got loose along the baseline. Fenwick has not allowed that to happen very often this evening. Ahead to Norai, the dangerous outside shooter. Bobby Lee. Norai handling it out high in the corner for Hill. And then Recovery's zone defense. Fort Recovery went all the way with its zone defense in the semifinal.
Recovery has changed their defense into a somewhat 3-2 zone to stop that outside shooting of Middletown. And it's working very effectively right now.
Both Ben sisters are on the bench right now with personal fouls. Lynn Ben with 2. Tina Ben with 3. Brenda Toby is in the ball game wearing number 41 for Fort Recovery. There's the shot by Lee, and it's going to come right down to Etzler. And Etzler, trouble with the dribble, is tied up by Beth Hill, but Hill reached in. That's going to be a personal foul number 1 on Beth Hill. And with the Indians in the bonus, that'll put them at the line, shooting 1-1. There again, Mike Lockhart.
You see Lockhart over there patting her on the back, telling her to think. I think she knows as a senior that she wasn't supposed to reach in, but she's quick enough as sometimes she can get away with that. But that time the official was right on the spot.
And at the line is Etzler. Etzler, 5'5" junior. Jenny Etzler has her first point of the night.
Entering the game for Bishop Fenwick, number 22.
Well, a keeper will come back in for Fenwick.
Replacing
And Bobby Lee will check out. Etzler with 1 free throw remaining. Recovery back on top now 7. And lead was down to 5 for a very brief time. Now the lead is 8 again. It has been as much as 9 for Fort Recovery. Fort Recovery undefeated this season. Paula Keeper worked it ahead for Norai. Moving down toward the 1-minute mark in the first half. Well, it looks like they may be taking the air out of the ball a little bit. However, Fenwick trailing by 8 points.
I'm very impressed with the coaching style of Mike Glossop. He has Middletown girls in the clutch of his hands. They're doing exactly what he wants them to do. What he wants them to do. He's coaching right along that sideline.
Well, despite the fact the Falcons are trailing by 8, they're going to play for the last shot of the half, it looks like. They've run about a minute off the clock, or about 30 seconds off the clock, that is, down to the 30-second mark. Seconds now. And Norai is going to shoot it from 3. Bingo!
And it paid off. Patience paid off in Middletown as she steps up and had about 3 feet from the 3-point range.
Recovery lead cut back to 5. There's Etzler with a shot. Won't go for her at the buzzer. That is the end of the first half. Fort Recovery with a 5-point lead at the end of the first half. And we've got a basketball game here at St. John. We'll return to St. John Arena with the score at halftime. Fort Recovery 23, Middletown Fenwick. It's halftime at St. John Arena, and I'm talking with Claire Mascaro, since January 1st, the commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. And Claire, it must be very gratifying to you to see so many folks here at St. John Arena for these events.
Oh, it's really exciting, Paul. To me, there's nothing like high school athletics. I know the NCAA basketball tournament's going on. We have the Super Bowl. But believe me, the support, the communities, the families, the students, this is where it all is, high school athletics.
Well, it seems like interest in high school athletics in general, and in particular girls' high school athletics, girls' basketball, seems to be at an all-time high.
Certainly, you're correct in that. And we've noticed a much greater interest and attendance in our volleyball. The girls' volleyball is growing tremendously. And this tournament this year, this girls' basketball tournament, will probably set an attendance record.
How many would that be?
It'll be over 45,000 for the sessions that we have.
What do you think it would take to fill this place up for a girls' state tournament championship game?
Well, the way the sport's growing, I think, Paul, before too long, we're going to get some teams in here, and we're going to have to go to single sessions for all games, believe me.
Very quickly, I wanted to ask you about a rule change that you folks made earlier in the year or late last year, in effect shortening some of the seasons, or at least the time that the student athletes are involved in competing in those seasons. What was the rationale behind that?
Our member school administrators expressed concern that athletics maybe were kind of overshadowing the academic problem. That's never been our philosophy. The bottom line is academic. So our people decided we needed to shorten seasons, and now we have a 1-week break between each sports season. Plus, in some of our sports, we've reduced numbers.
Lest we confuse anybody, though, we're still talking about 20 basketball games in the regular season, 10 football games. Is that correct?
That's correct, Paul. There were some sports in which we did not reduce numbers, but in some we did. But overall, we will always have a 1-week break between seasons to give these kids a break.
Well, Mascaro, thank you very much. Continued success, best of success to you in your job, the brand new commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. It's halftime. Back with more halftime festivities after this. Fort Recovery leading the Middletown Fenwick Falcons at halftime by 5 points. We talked about tempo at the outset, Francine, and it would seem right now the tempo is favoring the Fort Recovery Indians.
It definitely is. They're doing a great job defensively. Their full court pressure, they're stopping Middletown from running the fast breaking, which I thought they would do very early in this contest.
They've done very well as Fort Recovery, despite the fact that Lynn Ben is on the bench with 2 personal fouls, spent much of the second quarter there. Tina Ben's on the bench with 3 personal fouls for a while. Does it surprise you how well they're doing defensively with those players on the bench?
Most definitely. With Lynn Ben on the bench, she has taken a little bit from the game, but I think Recovery has recovered very well without her presence on the court right now. She's a very good player, and I think they've done a great job defensively and offensively.
Well, we're going to look at the stats right now. You'll see a lot of turnovers in the ball game. 15 for Fort Recovery, 14 for Middletown. Field goal percentage, 47% for Fort Recovery, 40% for Middletown. That's not bad at all. From the free throw line, both shooting roughly 50%. Middletown a little bit under 50%, and that may come back to haunt the Middletown Falcons later on in the game, because they're going to need to be hitting those free throws. In fact, if you hit half of the ones they missed, the game is much, much closer than it is right now.
Most definitely. Both teams really need to hit their free throws.
Jenkins with 6 for Fort Recovery. Leonard's with 6. Hartnagel with 4. And Lynn Ben with 3. And for Middletown Fenwick, Daenerys Norai, the deadly outside shooter, with 9. She almost has her season average already. The Long sisters, Kathy with 5. And the other Long sister with 2. And Bobby Lee also with 2 points. Kathy Long with 2 personal fouls. So the big players, the All-Staters in the middle, both with quite a few fouls in that first half. We're going to pause for this break in the action. And to St. John Arena, the score at halftime is Fort Recovery 23, Middletown Fenwick 18.
Whoa.
At halftime, the score, Fort Recovery 23, Middletown Fenwick 18. I wanted to show you some of the action from that first half. And we were talking about how the tight defense has been creating chances to score. Here's what chance for Fort Recovery.
Boy, you see Tammy Hartzenegel, she's very aggressive, heads up. Nice pass over to Kathy Lenartz. And she's going to pop this one with a lot of confidence. Look at there, rock bottom.
Oh, she can hit that one all night.
Yes.
And going down to the other end, here's going to be a steal by Middletown. Look at her get into the passing lane.
Good heads up play by Bobby Lee. She's going all the way. Left-handed. Look at there. Nice shot by her. Good hands.
Well, we've had some other action around the state today. Of course, the boys are still playing. They're in regional action. They'll be playing down here at St. John next week. In Division III, Liberty beat Berkshire 75-48. Houston over St. Henry, or rather the other way around. St. Henry over Houston 61-37. Hartley out of Columbus beats Akron St. Vincent St. Mary 80-76 in overtime. In Division IV, Worley rolls on, trying for its third state championship in a row, 84-41 over Berlin Highland. Mansfield St. Pete's over Hillsdale, 71-61. We're set to go now with the second half. The Division IV girls state basketball champion is going to be crowned in the next 16 minutes of basketball. Of course, we've got our Division I champion, Pickerington, beating Cincinnati Mother of Mercy in the game just before this one. We hope you enjoyed watching that one on the Sports Channel.
Oh, what a beautiful pass underneath. I tell you, this Middletown team is lacking in size, but they have a lot of heart.
It's a big bucket to come out and hit first to start the second half when you're behind.
You got that right. The first 3 minutes is very important to set the tempo and let that team know that you're here to play.
Lynn Ben is back in. What was the foul on Lynn Ben? Let's see.
Well, they call a traveling foul.
Oh, they called it. Okay.
She thought that she may have been fouled, but obviously the official called traveling.
One disadvantage to being down courtside, we have a hard time seeing the officials sometimes through the players. Vicki Smith is back in the game now for Fort Recovery. Lynn Ben, Vicki Smith in there. Along the baseline, Tina Ben still on the bench with those 3 fouls. There's Daenerys Norai, who can hit him from outside. Kathy Long will bounce it back outside from Mary Ellen Long. And the Long sisters fail to connect on that exchange.
Although Middletown aren't hitting their shots right now, they have great ball movement. Those shots will drop.
Jenna Jenkins with the feed to Lenartz in the turnaround, used the glass and kissed it home. That's 8 points for Kathy Lenartz.
Hey, that's another big-time play by Lenartz. She's taking it to him.
At 12 in the semifinal game against Berlin Highland. Man, it's been a busy weekend for Berlin Highland, both the girls and the boys team. The boys team losing in the regional, and the girls team losing here in the state tournament. They grow great basketball players up in Holmes County, though. And there's the steal coming the other way is Lenartz. Lenartz will take it all the way with a finger roll, a bit too hard, though. And Mary Ellen Long down to that rebound. I'm real impressed with Mary Ellen Long's rebounding for somebody who's 5'7", to get up as well as she does and get position as well as she does.
My mouth is wide open with the performance of Middletown. I tell you, they're a small team, but they play with so much heart.
There's a throwaway by Middletown. They have had a lot of trouble with turnovers. That's number 15 on the evening, the first one here in the second half. Inside it came for Ben, but knocked away from her.
How about that hustle there?
And Lenartz is going to pick it up. Says, I may as well shoot it. And out of bounds it goes. Nope, it's still playable. And Kathy Long picked it up. And so the Fenwick Falcons will come the other way. Fenwick, by the way, outscored Fort Recovery 14-10 in the second quarter to get itself back in the basketball game. Along the baseline, beautiful feed to Beth Hill.
Beautiful pass. Did she thread the needle or what? I don't know how Mary Ellen got that pass in there, but she did. It's a beautiful heads-up pass and nice hands.
Mary Ellen Long, the junior, may be playing the game of her life tonight. There's Lynn Ben on the other end.
Let's not forget about Lynn Ben. She was sitting on the bench in the first half with foul trouble, and she's back.
5 points for Lynn Ben, averaging 19, had 23 in the semifinal game. Ahead it came to Beth Hill. Beth Hill bounced pass up to Long, out of bounds. Good defense by Jenna Jenkins, who got her hand in the passing lane, or that would have been an easy 2.
That was great hustle. You see Jerry Lee, she has 3 fouls and no points, but her presence is felt on this court.
Jerry Lee is in for Paula Kiefer. And there's Daenerys Norai out of the corner, a two-pointer. Norai, 11 points in the night.
Middletown is feeling right at home right about now.
And Middletown is back to within 3 at Fort Recovery. With 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go, third quarter. This has been a great basketball game so far. Very intense. As they jostle for position, it looks like Lynn Finn may have picked up her third personal foul.
I think you're exactly right. There you see the pass inside. Oh, most definitely. Lynn is on the bag. She has no position. None whatsoever. And she's trying to be physical and reach over.
That's the foul number 3 on Lynn Ben, but there's Leonards to steal it away. That's a two-pointer for Kathy Leonard.
Kathy is coming alive this half.
29-24. Recovery on top by 5. 4.5 minutes to go as Long bounces it off to Lee. And Lee's going to jump it up a bit too hard, but on the other side, there is Mary Ellen Long again.
I tell you, this family affair is something else. If it's not the Lees, it's the Longs. Either way, Middletown is doing a very good job.
3-point ball game. Plenty of time left. About 4 minutes to go here in this quarter. And there's a steal on the other end by Middletown.
I tell you, Paul, you mentioned the intense coaching of Mike Lockard. I think he had a lot to say at halftime.
Well, he's a Pentecostal minister, as we mentioned, and I bet there was a lot of fire and brimstone in that locker room at halftime. As you see Long being tied up, and very quickly the jump ball is called. Or more technically, the held ball. The possession arrow favors Fort Recovery. And on the Fort Recovery bench, Diane McClung wants a timeout. So we'll return for more from the OHSAA Championships. Now we're going to keep it right here. All right, with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the third quarter, Fenwick very gradually sneaking back into this one.
They sure are, and I think McClung is calling that timeout knowing that they're capable of coming back, and they're doing a great job of doing that. Middletown is being very aggressive. They're getting second shots. They're getting their hands in the passing lane. They're all over the place. They're a very scrappy team, and they're very quick. And right now they're playing with confidence, and I think Lockard has told them we can win this ball game, and that's what they come out here to do.
Murphy's telling them maybe to lay off the defense a little bit and play some offense because they've already given up tonight more points than they have to any team in the tournament.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very fast tempo third quarter and probably even faster in the fourth quarter. Both teams are heads up and they are very excited to be here. And the adrenaline is flowing. The crowd is pumped. And I'm even pumped. I'm very fortunate to be here, and it's exciting watching them at court level.
Well, Fenwick gave up 23 points in the semifinal, 22 points in the regional final, 22 points in the regional semifinal, 22 points in the district final. So they were very, very consistent on defense. And there is the shot by Jenny Etzler. Won't go for Etzler. And Middletown Fenwick will come down the floor now with a chance to bring itself to within one or possibly tie the basketball game. And there's a girl who can shoot him from three-point range. That's Daenerys Norai, who passed it off to Jerry Lee. Recovery staying in that zone.
I think Norai is marking her spot. She's passing that ball around, but I think she's going to park it in there and let her fly.
Norai gave it back to Lee. Into Long now. Long with the turnaround. Good touch. Kathy Long brings Fenwick to within one. It's 29-28.
Kathy Long amazes me how big she plays. Like I said, she's only a 5'9" senior, but she plays as if she's 6'6". She's an in-your-face player. And there she goes with the steal. She's everywhere.
She is everywhere, and she gives it to Jerry Lee, and now Fenwick can take its first lead since the first quarter. Kathy Long is telling her teammates that the coach wants a timeout. And the coach does want a timeout. We're going to keep it right here with 2:37 to go in the third quarter.
I'm very impressed with Lockard's first year of coaching. He called that timeout knowing that he has a timeout.
Well, we will take a timeout. Returning for more from the OHSAA Championships after this timeout. The score, Recovery 29, Fenwick 28.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin. I've been very fortunate to have a successful football career. Sometimes people ask me what means the most to you. Was it your time at OSU? Was it winning the Heisman? Was it your time at the Bengals? All those things meant a lot to me, but the most important thing of all has always been being able to get up every morning, look myself in the eye, and know that I was being the best that I could be. I couldn't have done that if I was messing with drugs and alcohol. They keep you from being all that you can be. So take my advice, just say no to drugs and alcohol. Keep your self-respect, and there's no telling how far you can go.
Division IV championship game, 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go, third quarter. Recovery leading by a score of 29-28. But that recovery lead has been as much as 9. If you're enjoying the game and like to see it again, or perhaps you missed part of the first half, join us for an encore presentation of this Division IV championship game. Now Middletown Fenwick with a chance to go in front. But they'll have to shoot it over that zone or try to work it inside. Mary Ellen Long almost lost it out of bounds, did lose it out of bounds. And so for the time being, Fenwick has lost a chance to go ahead. 19th turnover for Fenwick tonight, also 19 for Fort Recovery. Well, this tournament has been waiting for a nice close squeaker of a game like this.
Hey, I hope they stand by because they may be in store for one.
I'm glad they waited for one of our games, aren't you?
I sure am.
All the way, Kathy Lennox.
That's an in-your-face shot.
12 points for Kathy Lennox, and the pass a little bit too far ahead of Norai. And look at Ben with the steal.
All over the place. Great defense by Lynn Ben. She stretched out those long limbs and come up with the steal.
There's Jenna Jenkins being watched by Mary Ellen Long. Jenkins had it in mind to drive for just a moment, but reaching in on her was Mary Ellen Long. And that's going to be number 2 on Mary Ellen Long.
Boy, look at this. Oh, little reach in there. The officials are doing a great job on top of each call. They're doing an extremely good job with the fast tempo of this game. They're going to be worn out.
Well, we not only have the best teams here, we have the best officials. These gentlemen who are officiating the game tonight have qualified to be here. They have earned the right to be here, and they're doing a super job, as you say, Francine. And there's Ben with a turnaround.
Nice turnaround. She dribbled once to gather some momentum and up with that nice soft touch that she has.
7 points for Lynn Ben. And recovery back on top by 5. Down to a minute 15 to go. Inside it comes for Long. Long just barely avoiding traveling. There's Mary Ellen Long back up with it. And Ben with a rebound, but coming up with a loose basketball, Paula Kiefer.
I tell you, Fenwick doesn't give up. They just will not give up. I love to see a team work as hard as they do.
In the corner, Mary Ellen Long. Somewhat smaller house for this game than for the Division I game which preceded this one. But really, I think they're seeing the diminished number of people who come out to see this one are seeing a little bit better basketball game. Although being a Central Ohioan myself, awfully proud of the Pickerington Tigers for winning that Division I championship. 33 seconds to go. Middletown has taken the air out of it and will play for the last shot.
Boy, they're showing so much poise right now. Very patient. I hope it pays off.
Norai. And Keeper playing catch out there. Now Mary Ellen Long gets the ball on the other side. Now they lose it. It was tipped away by Lennox. And Ben goes down and is tied up. And Ben thought she should have been the recipient of a foul call there. Possession arrow favors Middletown. And so they'll have it again for the last 10 seconds of the third quarter. Tammy Hartnagel back in for Fort Recovery, number 53. 8 seconds to go, third quarter. To Mary Ellen Long. Long on the drive. Is going to put that shot up a bit too hard, though. And at the buzzer, the shot is going to be well short of anything. And that is the end of the third quarter. We'll pause for this break in the action. And we'll return to St. John Arena with the score at the three quarters. Recovery 33, Fenwick 28.
Want to know one of the best teams in college basketball? Digger Phelps helps you keep pace with Notre Dame, introducing you to the team and taking you on the hardwood for every matchup. The Digger Phelps Show, Mondays at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel America. Watch some of the best soccer players compete in one of the oldest soccer leagues in the world. Direct from Great Britain, it's English League Soccer. Rugged and exciting action every week on English League Soccer, only on Sports Channel America. Check your TV listings for days and time.
It's a basketball for the Division IV Girls High School Basketball Championship. There you see the score. The two teams played even in the third quarter. So the door is open, the stage is set for the final quarter.
And we're seeing quite a show.
Yes, we are. The door is open for Middletown Fenwick. They've gradually been clawing their way back into this one. And that is indicative of the action we've seen here in the second half. It has been gut check time for both teams. It is going to be a blocking foul call.
Well, look at this nice crossover dribble by Kathy Lennard. She has great quickness. Great quickness with the ball.
Well, the keeper picked up the foul. She is the one who ended up on her back. That is her third personal. And we'll put Kathy Lennertz at the line. Kathy Lennertz with 12 on the night. She's averaging 14. And misses that first one. The second, 34-28. The recovery lead, Fort recovery lead, back up to 6 points. Just underway in the fourth quarter. This is the final game of the day here at St. John Arena. There have been 4 state championship games in all. Fenwick with the basketball. Not quite in the position yet, where they'll have to score every time down the floor, but getting close. Very, very patient offense, and it goes for Kathy Long. Puts the ball on the floor, but scores over Ben, who has to lay off a bit because she's got 3 fouls.
How about that? Kathy Long, she's a very smart player. She knows the trouble that Miss Ben is in with the foul trouble, and she just went in and took it to her.
Now Len Ben trying to get around Long. Had an idea of making a move to her right, but traveled with the basketball. And that is going to be turnover number 22 for Fort Recovery. There have been a total of 42 turnovers by both teams in the game.
Boy, it's quite a brawl between Kathy Long and Lynn Ben. Those are 2 competitors.
So Fenwick now fighting through some backcourt pressure. They better hurry up. Time is running short. And Beth Hill just made it net. Well, she did make it over the timeline in time. However, she was called for traveling.
And the official was right there on the play.
Well, Beth Hill had to hurry up and bring it over that 10-second line. And did, in so doing, travel with the basketball. Took her mind off of it just a moment. Well, we're going to return for more from the OHSAA Championships, the Division IV Championships, after this timeout. The score, 34-30, Fort Recovery. There's the time remaining in the fourth quarter. In regulation time, Fort Recovery, the 4-point lead, the Division IV Girls High School Basketball Championship game. There are some young fans. Perhaps we'll see action in St. John Arena at some point in their life. And there's a turnover. Right in front of our location, Tammy Hartnagel had her hands on the ball and her foot on the sideline. So that gives it back to Middletown. And the Fenwick Falcons now with a chance to draw themselves to within 2. With 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And it comes to Long, who's taking it right to Ben, and Kathy Long scores.
Boy, she's on a roll. You can see that fire in her eyes. She said, hey, I'm a senior. This only comes once, and the one time is tonight, and we got to win this ball game.
13 points for Kathy Long. And there's a shot a bit too long by Jenna Jenkins, and Ben with the rebound. Give it to Lenhartz. Lenhartz up with it. And that's not going to go. Loose ball goes to the corner, and there's Jenkins racing after it. And it comes to Ben. Ben loses. But picked up again by Lenhartz with the shot. And look at Ben with the rebound and the trouble. Ben with the rebound that time. Took a couple of steps with it. And that is turnover number 24 for Fort Recovery. Both teams have treated that ball like a hot potato tonight.
Yes, there are.
But in fairness, really, to both teams, a lot of those turnovers have been forced errors just because they've been steals or they've gotten hands into the passing lane.
Oh, both teams are tenacious in their defense. They both are trying to win this game, and they're giving it their all, and they're giving us a great show.
Coach Diane McClung in her 11th year at Fort Recovery. And there's a whistle after the shot. Now the basket's going to count. And Tina Ben, or rather Lynn Ben, with the basket and will go to the line. That puts Recovery back on top.
This is a big-time play. A nice cut by Lynn Ben. She takes the dribble established position, and she's up, and it's in. At first, the official, I thought, had waved that basket no good.
So Lynn Ben goes to the line with 9 points on the evening. And perhaps more importantly, Kathy Long has now picked up her third personal foul. With 6 minutes to go, just under 6 minutes to go in regulation time. And Lynn Ben has her 10th point. 37-32, 5-point lead, Fort Recovery. There's Daenerys Norai. Waiting for everybody to get down and get set up. Norai and Jerry Lee working into the backcourt. There's Mary Ellen Long. Norai not quite time to pocket and fire that three-pointer. And here comes Beth Hill along the baseline. Dropped it off for Mary Ellen Long and used the glass and kissed it home.
Boy, that is a picture-perfect way of breaking a matchup zone. They thread the needle perfectly. She drove baseline, drew defense, and dished it off. Great job.
Beautiful pass by Beth Hill. Now inside it comes to Tina Ben. A little bit too soft, but she gets her own rebound and puts it back up, and is fouled going back up. And it looks like that one may have been against Mary Ellen Long.
There we go. Tina Ben, she's up. Contact from the back. She even followed her shot. Look at that. Nice job by Tina Ben.
And on Mary Ellen Long, that'll be personal foul number 3. Tina Ben has yet to score tonight. She's averaging 4 on the year. Tina, the senior sister of the Ben sister. However, she did have 4 blank shots in the game against Maryland. Her major contribution, she and sister Lynn form a wall back there. It's just hard to get it down low against those two.
Most definitely. Bingo. Nice touch.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
38-34, 4-point Fort Recovery lead. And again, that big backcourt pressure, but the long pass now to Jerry Lee. Jerry Lee all the way, lays it up and in. Jerry Lee.
That's the way you break a press. Recovery had brought all their defense up front, and hey, Middletown took it long on them.
There's Leonard. Oh, you knew that was going down from the time she shot it. Beautiful trajectory.
Very good competitor, Leonard. So she comes back after that fast break by Middletown and put it in the face.
15 points for Leonard. And the steal coming the other way is Leonard's.
And look at that rebound.
Oh, it's Lynn Ben.
Great job.
The AP Co-Player of the Year. All the way, Lee. And, excuse me.
They don't give up. I love it. I love to see people play with heart. This Middletown team, I tell you, under the direction of Lockard, he's done a great job with them.
Fenwick has dropped back to within 4. There's going to be a blocking foul about free throw line high on Middletown Fenwick, and you can see that Mike Lockhart is not very happy. It's going to be the second personal on Beth Hill. So for Fenwick right now, Kathy Long has 3 fouls, Mary Ellen Long with 3 fouls, and Paula Kiefer with 3 fouls. Same number of players who have 3 fouls for Fort Recovery. At the line right now, Kathy Leonard. Give her 16 points on the night so far.
I tell you, throughout the stretch, Kathy has been a major part in the success of Recovery right now. She's doing an extremely good job establishing position and the rebound. She's making nice passes. She's filling the lane. She's doing just about everything right now.
And how often do you see that happen in a game where a team will come in with a great player and they'll put a lot of emphasis on stopping that great player, and another player just comes to the fore and takes over?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a steal by Hartnagel, and Hartnagel's shot over the rim. But it is a 6-point lead for Recovery as Fenwick really dodged a bullet in that case. Kathy Long tied up in the corner, but got rid of the basketball. But Fenwick has shown a lot of patience in this situation. Kathy Long saying, "Give it to me." You can see the intensity on her face. She wants the basketball, but Mary Ellen Long tries to get it to her. And the possession arrow does favor Middletown. So Middletown with a break there gets the ball back. However, with the next held ball situation, the possession arrow will favor Fort Recovery.
But Recovery is packing it in on that matchup zone. They're causing a lot of problems for Middletown.
Hartnagel got the hand in. And so Beth Hill will do it again. Bounces it in for Long, but well away from the basket. That's not in her range, so she'll give it away.
But we can't count Middletown out. They thread the needle once before, and I'm sure they're going to do it again. They're a very patient team. There they go.
Here it comes to Long. Long tried to bounce it back outside because they had her triple team, and she saw Beth Hill loose, but just momentarily.
That's a good head-up play by Lynn Ben. She got a hand on it.
Great defense again by a team more well-known for its offense, Fort Recovery. And there comes Leonards all the way, and Leonards was fouled. And looks like it may have been Mary Ellen Long who got the hand in.
I tell you, she's been big-time played. We put a lot of emphasis on Lynn Dunn, but you see here, Leonards, like I said, she has the ability to draw fouls out of this world. She's a very smart player. She gets people on her back, and she takes it to them.
Well, listen to the stats on Leonards. 7 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. 17 points, 3 steals, make it 18 points now. 3 steals, 5 rebounds. All for Kathy Leonards.
Yeah, she's playing an outstanding game. Good touch from the free throw line. She's just an outstanding competitor.
Well, these are the things of which great memories are made. And win or lose, I'm sure Leonards is going to remember this one as a personal best.
Most definitely. I'm sure a lot of people leaving here are going to be talking about her at the dinner table tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So the Falcons will get it back now with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go. But trailing now by 7. And time very rapidly running out. There's Hill. Somebody got a hand on that one because Hill missed by a long shot. And Ben with a rebound. And Ben is fouled by Long. And that's going to be number 4 on Kathy Long.
But with 2 minutes and 45 seconds, Kathy Long felt she had to apply some pressure, as she does right here. She just bumps Lynn Ben a tad bit, and the officials are right there on the call.
And Fenwick wants a timeout with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go in regulation time. As you look at the Fenwick bench. Well, Kathy Long is going to take the top off of that, so she can get some more liquid in. You know, it is a danger. You can get dehydrated. I don't know if you can get rehydrated within 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but that's one thing you've got to protect against. Fort Recovery came into the game with a 26-0 record, the only undefeated team in the girls' high school basketball tournament. Middletown Fenwick at 24-2, so 50 victories between these two teams.
Well, we discussed the tempo of the game and that tenacious defense. Look at this defense by Recovery. Lynn Ben, get a hand on the ball. Starts their break. Great head-up play by Recovery.
And just also look at him collapse on Kathy Long, just phenomenal.
Yes.
So Lynn Ben will go to the line with 12 points in the evening.
At the line for Fort Recovery, Lynn Ben, shooting 1 and 1.
Lynn Ben, the all-stater, making 13 points in the night, averaging 19 points a game.
She has nice touch from the free throw line. You should see how she rests the ball up on her fingertips. Release, nice rotation, rock bottom. And
on the rebound, a foul against Kathy Leonard's. And that's going to be number 1 on Kathy Leonard's.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh.
She's been everywhere. And that's her first foul with 2 minutes and 42 seconds left. She's been everywhere. Just great body control, and this is only her first foul.
2 minutes and 42 seconds to go. Recovery has built its lead back up to 9 points, matching the largest lead it's had tonight. Middletown Fenwick clawing desperately to get back into it. There's Kathy Long, turnaround, spun it off.
But right now, I think recovery needs to spread it out and run some time off the clock.
Well, let's see if that's what they do. Now they're going to do that. They're going to score. There's Ben, but a traveling call. Ben turned it over.
That was a nice pass inside, but I would feel much comfortable if they were to come down and just spread it out and take some time off the clock.
25 turnovers by Fort Recovery.
You can't play around with this Middletown team. They have a lot of heart, and they will not give up. They're going to go until the buzzer.
Well, apparently Coach Diane McClung feeling that the best defense is a good offense. As you see the time remaining in the game, Norai is going to miss everything. There's Hill with the loose ball, and the outlet pass is picked off by Jenna Jenkins. So a minute and 49 seconds to go as time runs down now in the Division IV final. Leonards will try to kick it inside to Ben. There's Ben with the shot. He cuts. Count 2, 49-38, an 11-point lead to Fort Recovery. 16 points for Ben. And down she goes. That is Mary Ellen Long with the 26th turnover of the night for Middletown Fenwick. So 51 turnovers total in this ball game.
Boy, she is so quick.
Well, if there was contact, it was only incidental.
Boy, I think she stumbled over the traction of the floor. Her shoes are gripping so tough, and she's so quick.
And another timeout now for Fenwick. As you see the happy Fort Recovery Indian supporters who are sitting right behind us. Well, look at that free throw shooting. Fort Recovery has been deadly from the line in the second half, and they have gotten there a lot. Middletown has not gotten to the line at all. As a matter of fact, Fort Recovery only has 2 team fouls and a half.
Boy. I'll tell you, that free throw line does play a big part in the victory of most teams here. As we mentioned before, throughout the tournament, most teams have not been shooting extremely well from the free throw line, but Recovery has done an outstanding job down the stretch here.
What makes it truly remarkable is that the defense has been so tenacious, as we've said several times, but only the 2 team fouls in the half. Just remarkable when you can do that.
Yes, it's definitely most remarkable.
So Fort Recovery basketball now with 1 minute 26 seconds to go. And the inbounds pass will come to Kathy Leonard, who's played so well tonight for Fort Recovery. Leonard's trouble on the dribble, has to get rid of it. To Jenkins. And Jenkins bumped by Mary Ellen Long. It's going to be the 5th foul on Mary Ellen Long. So Mary Ellen, who has played so well tonight, the junior, will check out. And there you see the applause from Coach Mike Lockhart. Mike Lockhart is very intense, but he is very encouraging also to his players. And he just gave her a nice thumbs up sign. There's Mary Ellen Long fouling out with 6 points. And she certainly has nothing to be ashamed of tonight. She put in a superb effort.
She sure doesn't have nothing to be ashamed of. And Lockhart, he knows that. He seems to be a great coach to me. He's very enthusiastic. He's intense. And he cares a lot about his girls.
Mary Ellen Long again with 6 points on the evening. She is going to be back next year. She is a junior. And there is Paula Kiefer in for Mary Ellen Long. Kiefer, a very strong defensive player, however, will probably not provide the offensive spark so badly needed at this point by Middletown. And Jenkins hits the nothing but the bottom of the net. From the free throw line, giving her team a 12-point lead, biggest of the night. Fort Recovery can smell it now. That's probably put it away. 13 points will be too much.
Yeah, I think that was the backbreaker there. Those 2 free throws.
There's Daenerys Norai coming down with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Moving down toward the minute mark. Lee reverses the ball. Keeper kicks it off in the corner for Hill. Off the side of the rim, and then the rebound, the quick outlet pass, avoiding a foul. Here comes Tammy Hartnagel across the timeline. And Hartnagel, a good job of handling the ball, and finally fouled, and there Norai way out high. Fouls Jenna Jenkins. That's going to be the 3rd foul on Daenerys Norai. Norai is a junior.
Usually when you get down the stretch like this and Middletown is going to be forced to foul, the score will not indicate the closeness of the game.
Now Jenna Jenkins with 9 points tonight. And you see that Ford Recovery bench. They're getting happy over there now.
They can taste it.
And along the Middletown Fenwick bench, one of the Lee sisters. They're twins, so I honestly couldn't tell which one that was. You need a number to tell the twins apart.
Whichever one it was, they have nothing to be ashamed of. Those are some hard-working girls, and they'll probably be back.
And they've had a wonderful season. From the top of the key from three-point range, no good. The miss by Paula Kiefer. And coming away with it, Jenna Jenkins. And finally a foul is called. It's going to be an intentional foul call. So not only will Jenna Jenkins get to shoot a couple of free throws, Fort Recovery will get the basketball back. And so Fort Recovery putting the final nails in the coffin, on the coffin now. And Jenna Jenkins will go to the free throw line with 9 points in the evening. From the free throw line, she is 3 of 7.
I can't say enough about Mike Lockhart of Middletown. He's over there signaling to those girls. He's patting his chin and telling them, chin up, chin up. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
He's still very much in the basketball game. He still looks like he's coaching as if they weren't behind at all, as if this game were tied.
Absolutely.
However, it is a 15-point lead for Fort Recovery. Now it's a 16-point lead. And this game has been much closer than the score might indicate, we might add. Fort Recovery basketball because of the intentional foul, and the ball is thrown away by Lynn Benn, so Middletown Fenwick will have another possession. And they're going to decide who's going to bring it out, who's going to be the trigger person, and it's going to be Paula Kiefer. And Lovell McKee, the official, pausing just to take a small piece of debris off the court. There's been a lot of confetti flying around here tonight. Getting that off so to make sure no players step on it and slip down. And the miss from way outside. Ball is loose, and Middletown picks it up. And there's going to be a foul out top as Paula Kiefer was driving for the hoop.
Boy, the officials are on top of each play. They know that Middletown is a very aggressive team, and also Recovery is aggressive, and they don't want anyone getting hurt here. We have some fine athletes out here, and I have to commend the officials for being on top of the calls just as they've been throughout the tournament.
Now, you may be surprised they're not going to go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1, but folks, that's only the 3rd team foul on Fort Recovery in the second half. And it was against Jenna Jenkins. Last 18 seconds of the ball
Bingo.
game. Yes, sir. Hey, how did you know that was going in?
You can see the rotation from here. It looked good. That's a nice shot.
11 seconds to go. The shot canned by Paula Kiefer. 7 seconds to go. Now Hartnagel. They can run it out. Hartnagel with the basketball. Fort Recovery is going to win the Division IV championship. It's over. Fort Recovery has won the basketball game 54-41. Let's listen to them celebrate. State champions, the Fort Recovery Indians. The final score once again, Fort Recovery 54, Middletown Fenwick 41. We'll return for more in the championships after this timeout. Well, congratulations to the Fort Recovery Indians, 54-41 victors, the Division IV champions, and in so doing, they have scored the most points since the middle of the season, or actually since early in the season, against Middletown Fenwick. Well, let's go to center court now, the awarding of the trophies.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention is directed to the center of the court, where Philip Binkley and Herb Drummond, Board of Control members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, will present the individual awards. At this time, we will honor the team from Bishop Fenwick High School as the 1990 Division IV state runner-up team. Each player is requested to step forward to receive an individual award. Starting with the players, number 44, Becky Rothside. Number 24, Jamie Lee. Number 10, Jenny Patterson. Number 42, Amy Count. Number 40, Mary Ellen Long. Number 22, Paula Keeper. Number 32, Daenerys Nora. Number 12, Beth Hill. Number 34, Kathy Law. Number 30, Jerry Lee. And number 14, Bobby Lee. The managers for Bishop Fenwick, Shannon Clary and Mary Zonke. The assistant coach, Mary Jo Gephardt. And the head coach of Bishop Fenwick, Mike Lockhart. Richard Tamir, assistant commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, will now present the 1990s State Division IV runner-up trophy.
To the girls of Fenwick High School and to your coaches, you've upheld a long tradition of fine athletic teams at Fenwick High School. And I want to congratulate you for one more great season. Hopefully as time goes on, you'll remember this tournament as a positive time for you. Would you please come forward and accept this trophy? To Fenwick High School, Division IV runner-up for 1990. Girls, congratulations.
And now we will honor the team from Fort Recovery High School as the 1990 Division IV State Championship team. Again, each player is requested to step forward to receive an individual state championship award. Starting with number 10, Kate Shanehair. Number 11, Jenny Rammel. Number 14, Becky Bruns. Number 24, Jenny Etzler. Number 31, Dinah Weigel. Number 41, Brenda Toby. Number 45, Vicki Smith. Number 32, Kathy Leonard. Number 30, Tina Finn. Number 44, Lynn Finn. Number 53, Timmy Hartnagel. And number 20, Jenna Jenkins. The managers of Fort Recovery, Jean Parker, Kim Holenkamp, and Sherry Simbry. coach of Fort Recovery, Jeff Reesner. And the head coach of Fort Recovery, Diane McClaw. Richard Tremere will now present the 1990 Division IV State Championship Trophy and game ball.
Fort Recovery High School, you realize you are the only girls basketball team in Ohio to go undefeated this year. On behalf of the Board of Control and all those other teams that did not go undefeated, I want to congratulate you and present you this championship trophy tonight.
Champions, along with Coach Diane McClaw, Fort Recovery, the winners of the Ohio High School Division IV Girls Championship. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. Well, we got a lot of folks to thank for our broadcast this weekend. The Sports Channel would like to take an opportunity to thank some special folks who collectively made this broadcast day possible. Among them, Claire Mascaro, the Commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Fred Daffler, the Associate Commissioner of the Association, and Richard Tremere, another Assistant Commissioner of the OHSAA. Also, the fine Assistant Sports Information Director here at Ohio State University, D.C. Kale. It is D.C. Kale's wonderful computer system that made it possible for us to be as quick tonight with the statistics as we were. We'd like to give you a look at some of the out-of-town scores. This is the weekend that the NCAA has narrowed it down to the Sweet 16. We want to look at some of those scores right now. Connecticut knocked off California. Clemson over LaSalle, a close one. UNLV, of course, knocking off Ohio State. The Buckeyes bowing out this afternoon. Michigan State leading UC Santa Barbara at the half, 62-58. That was a high-scoring affair. The final, Ball State does it again. The Cardinals over Louisville, this time 62-60. And North Carolina, there's an upset over Oklahoma, 79-77. Now, in some other games going on around the state today, this is the weekend that the boys narrow it down to the Final Four. In Division I, Scott beat Mansfield 82-58. In Division IV, Delphus St. John's over Hilltop 81-62. Springfield Catholic beat Lima Catholic by a score of 43-41. Also in Division IV, Worley rolls on. Coach Chuck Kemper's got them playing great basketball, 84-41, the final there over Berlin Highland. And Mansfield St. Pete's, a great school with a great basketball tradition, beating Hillsdale 71-61. Of course, our other champions here today. Division I, the Pickerington Tigers beating Cincinnati Mother of Mercy 61-42. In Division II, Garfield Heights Trinity over Elida 70-60. In Division III, Coldwater over Brookfield 62-55. And of course, in this game, the Fort Recovery Indians 54-41 over the Middletown Fenwick Falcons. Some final thoughts, Francine.
Final thoughts. I was very pleased with the entire tournament. This was a great game. Middletown have nothing to be ashamed of. They played a very exciting and aggressive game with the direction of Lockhart. They did an excellent job, but then you have to commend Recovery. They did an outstanding job earlier with their defense. They did a great job with Lynn Ben on the line or on the bench with her foul trouble. They did an outstanding job, and again, they're walking away with it.
Well, interestingly enough, this was the fewest points scored by Fort Recovery this season. They came into the basketball game averaging 72 points a game. They had scored as high as 96 points in a game. They had scored 80 points in several games, and this is the fewest points scored by Fort Recovery, and in so doing, they win their biggest basketball game. Meanwhile, Middletown Fenwick, of course, its vaunted defense, holding teams to an average of 23 points through the playoffs. All season long, they'd held teams to an average of 23% field goal shooting, and they have given up the second greatest number of points that they have this season. They gave up 55 in a game earlier on in the season. And Really, it was just a case, I think, tonight of just a bit too much Fort Recovery Indians for the Middletown Fenwick Falcons to handle.
You know, the big difference, I think Recovery, they went to the line a lot more times. They, as you see here, they were 20 of 30 from the line, and that was the big difference in the game also, I think.
We want to give you a look at the games coming up now next week on the Sports Channel when the boys move into St. John Arena for their games. It's going to start at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then the next game is at 2 o'clock. And then followed by a 6 o'clock game. And then by a 9 o'clock game. Of course, 4 divisions in the boys' championships, as there are 4 divisions in the girls' championships. So you see Fort Recovery, the players continuing to cut down the net there.
A well-deserved victory for them. They did an outstanding job. This was an exciting game to watch, both offensively and defensively.
Well, Francine Lewis, thank you for joining me. Today's game was produced by John LaChance, directed by Steve Bunn. Our technical director was Tom Farmer. Oh, it's been such a great day here at St. John Arena. I was privileged to watch the Division I game, which preceded this one, and just unbelievable. The electricity filled the air here, as it always does during tournament week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the best basketball you could want to see. And they're coming out in even greater and greater numbers to see girls high school basketball at St. John Arena. This Ohio High School State Basketball Final has been a presentation of Sports Channel Ohio in association with the Ohio High School Athletic Association. For Francine Lewis, I'm Paul Cox saying so long from St. John Arena. Once again, the final score of the Division IV State Championship game, Fort Recovery 54, Middletown Fenwick 41.
You're watching Sports Channel. Home.
'90 Girls State Champions, Fort Recovery, Ohio. This is Ron Romer's cap we're doing.
For 4 years, boys. It's been sold at the auction blocks of the Sobers and rebought.
Right this way.
I mean, they don't take the brains to do better than what they did. I think everything went perfect. craft beer.
Get them all they last.
$2 for Wind socks. Ted, you got one?
Pair of wind socks.
Fine. Oh, Susan.
Have you recovered yet?
I got it.
I got you.
Good crowd here.
Well, if you give me hand, I'm going to don't sit my
Hey, you'll make the...
Seats are up there. Yeah. Seat turkey.
Okay, this is a 1990 homecoming. Girls basketball state champion. Sunday afternoon. About 4:10 p.m. Led to town by Chief of Police Champ, local fire department. Must have brought him out in front of the school down there.
Who won, anyhow?
I don't know.
I think everybody's in. Could you sit from the floor, have a seat, please? We have a little program lined up for you today, sponsored by the Fort Recovery Athletic Boosters. The first thing we'd like to do, we have quite a number of things on the list. Well, I have to tell you what I think first. This basketball team was undefeated. Every game we played this year, except for one, we've won by at least a double-figure margin. Right?
Not really.